Number 10. Sure, Rawhide was a western, but sometimes it flirted with the supernatural. One episode gave us ghost riders, another had glowing St. Elmo's fire, and yes, even a mysterious gypsy wagon that seemed to move all by itself. Fans tuned in expecting cattle, got a dose of Twilight Zone instead. Was it spooky? A little. Was it weird? Absolutely. This was the cowboy show where you could get a horror story on Monday, a morality play on Friday, and still end up back on the trail next week.
I think I see what you're doing wrong. Now look, try turning your wrist over before you let it go. I have turned it over. I've turned it over and under and inside out.
Number 9. By the time season 8 rolled around, Rawhide decided to get cartoony, literally. The final season's opening credits were fully animated, making it one of the only westerns to ditch live-action intros for stylized art. It looked more Saturday morning than primetime grit, and fans didn't know what to think. Was CBS trying to modernize? Or just desperate to freshen up an old show? Either way, nothing says serious cowboy drama quite like a doodle of Clint Eastwood herding cattle. Spoiler, the experiment didn't save the series. Number 8. Behind the scenes, Rawhide was a battlefield. At one point, producers tried to push more experimental, darker storylines. Less about cows, more about people. CBS executives freaked. Their solution? A purge on Christmas Eve, firing much of the creative staff and demanding, in no uncertain terms, put the cows back in. Fans never knew it, but the show's sudden whiplash in tone came from this infamous shakeup. Forget peace on earth. For Rawhide's writers, that holiday was anything but merry and bright. Number 7. At first, Clint Eastwood's Rowdy Yates was just the eager young sidekick to Eric Fleming's grizzled trail boss. But when Fleming left in season 8, CBS needed a new face to lead. Suddenly, Eastwood wasn't just the sidekick, he was the star. This last-minute promotion put him in charge of the drive and gave him more dramatic weight, even if the show itself was limping toward cancellation. Ironically, Rawhide's decline came just as Eastwood was leveling up to movie superstardom. Hollywood legend status, right around the corner. Trail boss practice, courtesy of CBS. Number 6. Those opening narrations in Rawhide weren't just TV fluff, they were inspired by the actual diary of a 19th century trail boss named George C. Duffield. The show's creators used his notes to capture the grit, monotony, and dangers of driving cattle across the frontier. It's a weirdly authentic touch for a series that also had, haunted wagons and rogue circus performers. One minute you're grounded in history, the next you're riding with ghosts. Still, it gave the show an air of credibility, at least when it wasn't dabbling in cowboy sci-fi. We're only halfway through and we've already had ghost wagons, face reconstruction, and an animated Clint Eastwood. If that's the warm-up, just imagine what's left. Quick pit stop, if you're enjoying this trip down the strangest cattle trail in TV history, hit that subscribe button. It's easier than herding 3,000 cows across the frontier, and you don't even need a horse. Alright, back to the roundup. The trail's only getting weirder from here. Number 5. Most westerns treated the US cavalry as heroic saviors. Rawhide? Not always. Some episodes painted them as corrupt, cruel, or flat-out dishonorable. One story even worked as an allegory for Vietnam, years before that war officially dominated American TV screens. For a cattle drive series in the early 1960s, this was gutsy stuff. Viewers tuned in for cowboys and ended up with proto-political commentary. Imagine sitting down with Dad expecting John Wayne vibes, and instead getting a lecture on military abuse of power. It wasn't just weird for a western, it was practically rebellious for network TV. Number 4. If you think old TV shied away from tough subjects, Rawhide begs to differ. The show tackled morphine addiction, racial prejudice, post-Civil War guilt, and even issues of justice that still feel timely today. Sure, one week you might get a haunted cattle drive, but the next you'd see a harrowing story about soldiers struggling with withdrawal. This tonal whiplash kept Rawhide unpredictable. Part morality play, part action show, part frontier therapy session. It was TV daring to peek under the cowboy hat at problems no one else wanted to air. Call it messy, but undeniably ahead of its time. Number 3. Fans knew the drill. Every episode of Rawhide ended the same way. The credits rolled as the drive pushed on with that trusty "head 'em up, move 'em out" line. It was ritual, comfort food TV. But one episode shattered that formula. Instead of cowboys fading into the horizon, the credits rolled over a quiet town street. It was disorienting, almost eerie, like your favorite sitcom suddenly ditching the laugh track. Small? Maybe. But for fans in the 60s, it was a subtle reminder that even a cattle drive show could yank the rug out. Rawhide wasn't always predictable, and that made it weirdly exciting. Number 2. Even if you've never seen Rawhide, odds are you've heard its theme song. Written by Dmitri Tiomkin with lyrics by Ned Washington and belted out by Frankie Lane, the tune became bigger than the show itself. Energetic, dramatic, and kind of absurdly catchy, it burned its way into pop culture. It's been spoofed, covered, and even blasted in the Blues Brothers decades after the show ended. Imagine tuning into a cattle drive drama and accidentally creating one of the most iconic TV themes in history. That's Rawhide's legacy, a song that made cows sound epic and a chorus that outlived the trail it celebrated. Seriously, go ahead and hum it. You already know the words. Number 1. The weirdest fact of all, how it ended for Eric Fleming. After years of anchoring Rawhide as Gil Favor, Fleming left in season 8 due to behind-the-scenes tension. That was strange enough. But what happened after is downright tragic. Just a few years later, while filming a movie in Peru, Fleming died in a freak accident, drowning in a river at only 41. It's the kind of shocking twist that casts a long shadow over Rawhide's history. Fans remember him as the stoic leader, the tough-as-leather boss who kept the herd moving. But his real-life story ended in chaos, making his already mythic presence on Rawhide feel even more haunting. When Eastwood stepped up, the show stumbled, but Fleming's absence was felt forever. Number 12. Before James Arness became Marshal Matt Dillon,
Get off the trail, Marshal. You got no business with us.
I'm making it my business. Mike Postle decided to stay in town. Now you men turn around and head back.
He was a World War II veteran who nearly didn't make it home. He was gravely wounded at Anzio, carrying shrapnel in his leg that caused pain throughout his life. On set, that injury made long days in boots and on horseback even tougher. Yet, he rarely complained, choosing instead to push through for 20 years. So when you see Dillon walking with that steady cowboy stride, that wasn't acting grit. That was Arness's real-life toughness shining through. Number 11. It's hard to imagine anyone but Amanda Blake as Miss Kitty.
Good. Now look, you gonna get out of here right away?
I sure am. It's no fun getting shot at.
It's the truth, isn't it?
Fiery saloon owner with a soft spot for Marshall Dillon, but she wasn't the producer's first pick. The role was originally offered to actress Polly Bond, who passed. Blake stepped in and made the part unforgettable, giving Kitty that perfect balance of sass and vulnerability. For 19 seasons, she anchored Dodge City's social scene. Red hair, quick wit, and all. Sometimes the backup choice ends up defining the role forever, and Blake proved that in spades. Number 10. For more than a decade, viewers simply knew him as Doc.
Don't you want to dance or something?
Well, that'd look kind of silly.
What?
Well, you and me dancing together.
Played by Milburn Stone, the character was indispensable, patching up Dillon, keeping Dodge healthy, and offering dry wit in between. But no one seemed bothered that the town doctor didn't have a first name. Finally, in season 16, Stone got to decide. He christened himself Galen. After all those years, the man deserved an identity beyond Doc. Imagine being on TV every week for 16 years, and people still don't know your first name. Number 9. 20 years, 635 episodes, and James Arness appeared in every single one. That's a TV record few stars can brag about. While other actors rotated in and out, Dillon was the immovable anchor of Dodge City. Producers even considered giving him breaks, but Arness insisted on showing up, injuries and all. It's almost hard to picture an episode without him, and thankfully, no one had to. If Gunsmoke was Dodge City, then Dillon was the law, the myth, and the mustache holding it together. Number 8. Ever heard someone say, "Time to get out of Dodge"?
You got something on your mind?
There's a man named Hank Springer lying dead in that jail of yours down the street.
That bit of slang came straight from Gunsmoke. In countless episodes, outlaws and drifters were warned to leave Dodge City, usually by Dillon himself. The line stuck with audiences, slipping into everyday speech as shorthand for "let's scram." Decades later, people still use it without realizing its Western TV roots. So next time your road trip buddy says it's time to get out of Dodge, remember, you're quoting James Arness, not your GPS. Number 7. Long before Dodge City hit the small screen,
Marshal? Which room is down grass? Up there. At the end of the balcony.
Moody and